modern culture and social media have inflated women's egos, giving them unrealistic self-images and expectations. Loyalty, patience, and commitment have declined, replaced by instant gratification and the illusion of endless choices. Many women are said to rely mostly on beauty and attention rather than inner substance or personal development. Feminism and social media slogans allegedly reduce accountability, encouraging self-indulgence without responsibility. Finally, many are addicted to chaos, mistaking drama for passion, making peace and stability difficult to sustain. The speaker ties this to Stoic philosophy's self-discipline, virtue, peace, and focus, and urges men to protect their time and energy by choosing wisely. Men, let's be honest, in a world where everyone's chasing attention, how do you find someone who values peace, loyalty, and real connection? Because let's face it, modern dating feels like a battlefield of illusions. But what if the issue isn't just with women or men, but with the culture shaping us both? This video isn't about blaming. It's about understanding through the lens of Stoic philosophy how the digital age has changed our expectations, our sense of worth, and our ability to build meaningful relationships. Social media changed everything. A century ago, your worth was measured by your character, how dependable, kind, or wise you were. Now, it's measured by how many people double-tap your selfie. And that's not just a women's issue, it's all of us. But the video we're analyzing argues that women, in particular, have been drowned in male attention. When validation becomes constant, reality gets distorted. It's easy to believe, I can do better, even if the effort or self-growth isn't there. But here's the truth. Online validation is an illusion of value, not the real thing. It's like eating sugar instead of a meal. It feels good for a moment, but it doesn't nourish you. Take Emma, a real story from a podcast interview. She had 200,000 followers and said, I couldn't tell who liked me for me anymore. The more attention she got, the less she trusted it. Her ego grew, but her peace disappeared. Stoicism, especially from Marcus Aurelius, reminds us, everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. That's timeless wisdom for the Instagram era. So men, before judging or idolizing someone, ask, what's real here? Are you attracted to their image or their essence? One of the strongest points from the original video is that modern culture glorifies freedom over commitment. The message is, don't settle down. Keep your options open. That idea sounds empowering, but it often leads to loneliness and mistrust. Let's be real. Commitment isn't trendy anymore because it's hard. It requires patience, compromise, and sometimes sacrifice. Things modern culture calls boring, but Stoicism teaches the opposite. Discipline and stability create strength. Seneca once wrote, he who is everywhere is nowhere. In relationships, spreading your attention too thin means you're not truly present anywhere. Look at dating apps, infinite swipes, instant dopamine. If one person doesn't meet every expectation, we move on. But relationships grow in the soil of imperfection, not perfection. Here's what I think the original message misses. This isn't just a woman problem. It's a cultural problem. Men too are seduced by options and instant gratification. The Stoic lesson here isn't to reject women, it's to reject distraction. To find someone who values peace over attention, depth over drama. Looks fade, substance doesn't. That's one of the hardest truths our generation avoids. The video claims many modern women rely too much on beauty in youth. While that's harsh, there's a grain of truth in how society rewards looks over depth. But here's the twist. Society pressures women into this. Billions of dollars are spent convincing women that their worth equals how they look. So when we criticize that shallowness, we should also criticize the system that profits from it. In 2018, a model named Sarah left Instagram after saying it destroyed her. Despite having hundreds of thousands of followers, she admitted, I felt like a product, not a person. Her story echoes Stoic wisdom. Epictetus taught that wealth isn't having more, but wanting less. Peace comes when we stop chasing validation online or off. Stop chasing the shiny, chase the steady. Because the most beautiful quality anyone can have is emotional depth, the ability to be still in a noisy world. One of the boldest claims in the original video is that modern feminism has erased accountability. Now, that statement needs nuance, because feminism at its heart was about equality and freedom, not irresponsibility. But like any movement, when popularized by social media, its message can get distorted into slogans like do whatever makes you happy, or never apologize. When those ideas are taken out of context, they can create a dangerous mindset, not just for women, but for anyone. Freedom without responsibility isn't empowerment, it's chaos in disguise. The Stoics were obsessed with this balance. Epictetus taught that true freedom comes from self-discipline, not indulgence. It means taking ownership even when it's uncomfortable. A friend of mine, Alex, once dated a woman who would always shift blame. Every argument ended with him apologizing, even when she was clearly wrong. Eventually, he realized he wasn't dating a person, he was managing her emotions. That's not partnership, that's parenting. The key Stoic lesson here: you can't fix what someone refuses to admit is broken. So if you meet someone, man or woman, who never says "I was wrong," consider that a red flag. Growth begins with humility. No one can build a healthy relationship standing on a mountain of excuses. In the modern world, we celebrate self-expression so loudly that we forget self-reflection. Accountability isn't about shame, it's about evolution. Without it, we keep repeating the same emotional mistakes, expecting a different outcome. Let's talk about the final and perhaps most relatable point: the addiction to chaos. The original video describes how many modern women confuse drama with passion. But again, this is bigger than gender. Our whole culture is addicted to adrenaline. From TikTok fights to toxic relationship trends, chaos has become entertainment. Peace looks boring in comparison. Here's a question: when was the last time you scrolled your feed and saw a post about a calm, loyal, loving relationship, and it went viral? Exactly. We crave drama because peace doesn't sell ads. But here's the paradox. We all say we want peace. Until peace arrives, then we feel restless. Why? Because we've been conditioned to equate intensity with importance. A man I interviewed on a podcast told me he'd dated a woman who always seemed to start fights right after things got good. When he asked why, she admitted, "Calm makes me nervous. It feels like something's wrong." That's not love, that's emotional conditioning. The Stoics would call that an untrained mind. Marcus Aurelius said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." If our minds feed on conflict, we'll create it even in peace. So what's the fix? It starts with awareness. If your partner or you can't sit in silence without checking the phone, can't enjoy a quiet evening without drama, that's a signal. Peace isn't supposed to be thrilling, it's supposed to be healing. Healthy love is stable, not sensational. It's built on respect, not reaction. And yes, it's rare, but so is anything truly valuable. So after everything, the illusions, the chaos, the shifting values, what can we actually learn? The Stoic answer is simple: control what you can, accept what you can't, choose where you invest your peace. The original video says, most women today aren't worth your time. But here's a deeper truth: most distractions of any kind aren't worth your time. This isn't about gender wars, it's about discernment. In a culture that profits from your attention, the most rebellious thing you can do is guard your focus. If you want to find peace, stop trying to change others and start mastering yourself. That's where Stoicism shines. It doesn't ask, "Why is she like that?" It asks, "Why am I still here?" Real connection, the kind that lasts, comes from two people who have mastered themselves first. Before asking if someone's worth your time, ask if you're using your time wisely. Because the right partner doesn't compete with your peace, they protect it.